Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another cast here on the Ashen GG channel, and today we're having a look at a very special game. Let's get started. In the top lane we have Illaoi facing off against Set. In the jungle we have a Sejuani facing off against a Qiyana, and then we have a Blitzcrank Draven bot lane facing off against Qiyana and Kaisa. In the mid lane, we have Yasuo facing off against Iniko. And if you look at this game, you might already notice this is kind of odd. This looks kind of alright. This looks kind of alright. But somehow something is weird about this. Well, this is a silver elo cast.
Minions have spawned.
And we are going to be spectating a stream game that I played today, which was quite the clutch game. And I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit of a rough game. It was a huge labor, but we're going to have a look at it. And we are going to be going over a couple of details here. Alright, so this is myself, and I realized that Draven and Blitzcrank were trying to cheese, so I decided to, you saw me switch directions here, decided to start in the top lane. Now, my clear is going to lack a little bit, but all in all, it was okay. Illaoi is really helping me out a lot here. And if you look at the mid lane, Yasuo is pushing in, which for Qiyana is kind of difficult to punish. So I did not really try to do that, because as Qiyana, your first clear is pretty weak. The Sejuani is pretty similar on time with me. However, if you look at the HP difference, right, you see who is the real jungler. Obviously, Qiyana, she's kind of a jungler, but she's not really a jungler. All right. The top lane, Set is pushing in. He already won a trade, but beautiful E here by the Illaoi is going to, well, equalize that a little bit. Yasuo definitely winning the mid lane so far, but it could still go any one way. And down here, the bot lane looks pretty dominant, don't they? I mean, it is a Draven Blitzcrank lane. Pretty scary. Even Qiyana can't really help you if you get hooked in. Or at least not enough. And our dude is out of mana. So this is the number one problem. So this is me. I'm a professional player. And okay, so let's have a look. So what I did here is I knew that Sejuani had started bot lane because the bot lane came late, Set was on lane. So I decided to just do the crap. I was waiting around the crap and I tried to get some HP back. Now here, this is a little bit of a position where you would want to go as a jungler and try to get some CS there. You see me like walking into that direction, but I can't really do anything, and by that time she will be there because I was on my red buff. Again, Qiyana's first clear, not necessarily the best, a little akin to Fizz jungle, something that I've also played plenty. Alright, Sejuani having a little look-see through my jungle. Yasuo, definitely the pre-made here, right? He is ready. And we have a little bit of a HP lead down here. However, and this is the point, right, where I believe that I was starting to ping this, right? Yep, there we go. These are my pings. I'm starting to ping them to back off. Obviously, Draven is Draven, and he would do a lot of things, but one thing he ain't doing. So here I was on a ward. Good thing for me to know, as Sejuani and I are kind of synced up but mirrored. Generally the best situation for Qiyana, as Qiyana will always lose versus conventional junglers early on. Qiyana is really a scaling champion in this. All right, so we are moving into the river, and if you look at this gank, it's going to be rough. Now, Draven, he could outplay this, but he uses his last mana and he goes down. Actually, pretty decent play here by Blitzcrank, but he's going to go down. Blitzcrank saves himself, and I just farm. This is something that I do a lot on Qiyana early on. You kind of screw over your team because you are a little bit like Evelynn. Not 100%, but there is definitely some similarity here. And Sejuani is invading my jungle. Now, I personally was thinking about Sejuani actually starting Infernal, because even though you would think Infernal is scary, it really isn't. Alright, so I know that we don't really have a lot of kill pressure. I was looking at this mid lane all through the clear process. And if you go over to twitch.tv/AshenGG, you would also find the live replay VOD of that still. But I was looking at her and I was like, okay, she's not very good at this. So there's a little bit of a tussle here, but yeah, I'm just getting out. I don't care about any of this, and this is something that I started doing is, okay, I know I can't contest this, right? You see the move in together as well. I'm pinging exclamation mark, right? And the Blitz is going down, right? There's no way he can live. Maybe Draven could live. Yeah. All right. And I'm back on my way to my camps. Now, this is the thing that I started doing is I literally just give up stuff early on as Qiyana. Because I know I can't contest this, right? Why would I contest this? Why would I try to help if these two can collapse on me together? And so, yeah. You see me do my camps here. We're starting out with blue buff and then going to full clear our way down again. I am trying to stay like around to counter gank usually. So this is how I play usually as Qiyana. I try to counter gank a lot. And for that, I like to be synced up. But in this case, it's not really a, how should I say? It's not really a favorable trade for me, as the mid laner is, yeah, the mid laner is getting destroyed. Like, she is struggling very hard, and I was thinking here, but there's no way, right? So I just take the minion wave. I didn't want to kill him at all. Like, I just wanted to take the minion wave, and this girl, she overstays relentlessly. So we have another gank happening in the bot lane again, right? And this is part of my problem of me showing, but I mean, I had to take the CS, and I see, okay, well, that means that I need to take the Herald. Now, this is the point where Yasuo should think about, okay, so Qiyana was around here. Why is she not taking this wave? She gotta have something that will give her more value than denying me a plate and taking on this farm, right? And so he could have actually moved in and checked here, and he could have done me over. Now, I placed this control board partly also just to be safe, right? Just to not have to deal with like, if someone moves in here, most likely they're going to unless they already suspected, but most likely they're going to clear the control board a little bit. I'm gonna get a heads up. I was really scared here of Yasuo moving in, but it didn't really happen, and I'm kind of preparing for a gank here because I think that Illaoi is really the one, right? Now let's have a look at okay, let's have a look at the stats after. So here we deal a decent amount of damage, right? He is kind of low, and this trade does a little bit, but now it's danger zone for Illaoi, right? Illaoi got to be super careful now as Sejuani's around. Now this is an amazing grab here by her. And you see me move into the bot lane instead of the top lane because I want to make something happen with Blitzcrank or slash just, you know. Now here I should have actually been there to counter gank in my opinion, but Illaoi seems to be handling this very well. as we are grabbing a kill onto the Yasuo, right? Boom, and I pick up the kill. It's a little bit rude, but I told you before, right? I didn't really feel like I could trust this mid laner, as this is the point where I know, okay, so Illaoi is amazing. I love to place Herald mid lane. I do that, right? I drop this. This girl, she fails to pick up the plates. That is unfortunate, I realize. Wait, hold on. Hold on, wait a minute. What is going on here, my dude? Now, this is really just me being a cocky player. And being like, yeah, I'm smurfing, you know, it's fine. Like, I knew he would get pissed off, right? So if you want to optimize your chances at winning, you definitely don't smite that. You just let him bully you. The thing is that he has been kind of inting before. And he's dead. So the thing is that he has died before, and I did actually watch it, and it seemed like very tilted and ego-y to me. And so I was like, okay, what is going on here, right? So I know this is happening, and I'm just giving it up because, I mean, obviously, right, what can I do? So I'm just trying to farm up. I did take a... I did grab a kill, and I do realize that once again my scoreboard has been deleted, and now here I'm looking for something on the other side of the map, fully knowing, right? And I'm walking out here, so yeah, so no ultimate can hit me. And here I'm going to Q. Beautiful. Q, I mean, beautiful, but what I did there is I buffered the Q. I started the Q cast and then I flashed. And then obviously the tentacle finished him off, otherwise my Q would have. And this obviously gives Illaoi quite a bit more. Now Illaoi needs to recall here. This is a little bit greedy. The reason I didn't stay here with Illaoi is because I generally hate to overstay. And you know, I gotta be elsewhere, gotta do stuff, and Illaoi has like ample opportunity to leave, and she just doesn't. Too bad. And Sejuani is gonna be picking up a shutdown. Scary situation, isn't it? All right, bot lane is going as you figured. The Draven is absolutely brain melted, right? And the reason I smited his red buff is because if you let these people bully you, most likely they're going to int anyway because of whatever else other reason, right? So this is something that I've noticed is like, you let these people take your camps and then they start inting anyway at some point, because inting is actually not tied to you making a mistake. It's just tied to them feeling like, you know, they can't really do a lot and it is your fault. Right, which he's going to feel like one way or another. So it's fine. I'm just trying to gobble up as much money as possible, and so is Sejuani, right? So we're both kind of like farming up as hard as we can, and she's just been able to find a lot of opportunities, but I've been able to steal some kills, and obviously I was hoping to get the kill onto Set as well, but of course, you know, Illaoi getting that is amazing, right? You see what Illaoi is doing, and this is definitely a winnable game. Now, here we have a 0-5 AD carry. Now, usually we would say, okay, well, this game is just over FF, like run it down, make this game end quickly. However, team fight wise, and this is something also that I have kind of remembered from this game, is, you know, playing League, you sometimes get stuck in these things, these thought patterns where you think, oh yeah, this is how the game works, right? And you think about things that actually don't matter as if they would matter. So what is a good example for this? A good example for this is for example me saying, okay, well, we have an Inter, right? We have a Draven who's useless. There's nothing we can do. Usually that is true, especially since Kai'Sa is 5-0, right? She seems to be holding on very, very well. Obviously the lane in the beginning was quite uncomfortable before he started, you know, doing Draven things. And so I figured that, you know, this game would probably be over. However, we did keep playing, and this is the thing, right? If you don't find opportunities as a jungler, gank opportunities, obviously there's no reason to throw the towel. You kind of just want to grab the opportunities. Now, again, I'm here to let her recall. Like, that is the reason, right? The reason I'm showing up here is so she can finally recall. And the second Herald is being picked up here by Sejuani. I don't know it, but I also don't care because we see all of this fiesta happening up here. And I'm just not into it, right? So Illaoi manages to pick up 2 kills here, I think, which is amazing, but obviously goes down to Sejuani. I'm skipping ahead a little bit because there's a lot happening. Yasuo is moving up, but obviously doesn't need to. But Yasuo has destroyed the turret as well. And I'm sitting around the bot lane, and we see Kai'Sa aptly handling the situation. Very, very well done. Blitzcrank kind of making it obviously as well, but I was on a ward one way or another, so she would have gotten out there anyway. Now I want to get this freaking dragon. Now this is, I think, one of the bigger blunders that Sejuani is making, is she is pushing and she's summoning Herald. Now that is good in theory, but we've already grabbed 1 dragon, and for them, like, they have already grabbed 1 dragon. And so for them, getting another dragon is really good, because that sets us at the next dragon is going to be soul point type situation. And here I make a really big blunder. My positioning is really bad, right? With Set. I needed to be somewhere else, but yeah. So I get killed, but we still manage to get the dragon, which is super important. I go down, but that's totally fine. Now you look at me, and you would look at the stats and you would be like, okay, so we have a 0-0-1 mid laner. She's kind of bad. Like, she is constantly out of mana. She's not very good. She really is, right? Not the best skill shots, like not the best anything. Then we have myself, who's kind of doing all right, but I'm also kind of holding on, as Sejuani has found a lot of opportunities here already, and all lanes are kind of crumbling except top lane, right? But Illaoi is one of these champions that are amazing in lower elos and are also amazing in fights. And so the enemy team needs to know how to navigate around her. Now, what is happening here is that I personally see these guys run in here, and I'm like, dude, really? Is this really happening? And you will see me move over there in a second, right? So I won't fully clear everything here. And Illaoi just absolutely amazingly, yeah, goes in here and takes over this fight. I go in and I start to fiesta, right? So here we have this, and then the exhaust gets dropped and I'm dead. And this is the point where I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was an okay idea, but like everyone was there, and you know, it's not that good. Also, obviously not to talk about Nico, who, you see what I mean, right? She's not terrible, but she's lacking impact. She's struggling with the basics of the game still, and that is fine, but you know, difficult for us. So I did pick up a double kill there though. And I have my Youmuu's and I have my Prowler's Claw. And I think that the Prowler's Claw was quite the mistake. Prowler's Claw was a bad item to build, in my humble opinion. I should have went for Eclipse here. Especially since I'm not very good at using Prowler's Claw, so Eclipse would have helped me in that fight out a bunch as well. Alright, so I'm working on my jungle again, right? So is Sejuani. We're both kind of trying to macro up, right? And trying to get strong. And for me, this is even more important than for her, I would say. Because for Sejuani, it's not like, if she's strong and she gets a lot of money, that's okay. But I personally would say that making more things happen is more important for her. So I do something which is absolutely stupid, is I try to set something up here and I just die to this guy. Like that, I don't know. I don't know what is going on in my mind. while I do this, but it was absolutely horrifying. This is like the end of my first week playing Qiyana. And yeah, I'm playing similarly as him. It's tough, right? But we know we can hold on. And this Illaoi is incredibly strong and plays very well, right? So the question is, what can we do with that? Blitzcrank picks up a shutdown. Kind of unfortunate there, and very, very good job of us not to move in there, right? And I believe, yeah, I'm moving down here, trying to defend this. And in this situation, it just looks dire. Like, everything is falling apart. I die to set, right? Everything is kind of just going to shambles. And the only one who's kind of doing good is Sejuani. However, this is a pretty rough fight here. So Sejuani, she is going to summon 3 tentacles, takes down Janna. And does she take down Yasuo? Yes, she does take down Yasuo with a beautiful flash, and she is just doing it. Down here in the bottom lane, there was a fight. You know what? Let's rewind real quick. Let's have a look at that fight down here, because I think that is quite important. And I wanted to talk about this. Talking about like why in a lot of games. So, by the way, at this point, I've already muted Draven. I've muted Draven the second he started doing my red buff. I was like, okay, I muted him, full muted him, and smited the red buff. Now, I think the best play would be not to. All right, so I'm going down here. I'm ulting to help out, right? But it's just, I just can't reach her, right? She ults out, and there's just not much I can do. My ultimate was okay. It staggered the Kai'Sa. It kind of got me close, but I wasn't able to kill her. And so they will take down, once again, our bot lane, right? And I'm like, okay, well, shit, I gotta defend this. They just, apparently, they're just like, they'll just keep pushing, right? So I'm kind of playing around with them, but obviously there's no way that I can kill them. I'm kind of thinking about being able to flash, because I obviously know that there is nothing available, but yeah, it's not looking good. And I go down to the Sejuani, and it is just a rough situation. She also gets executed, and this game is just looking terrible, right? You would never say, oh, this game is going to be won by the blue team. There's no way. Draven isn't really trying, right? The only one who really is doing well is Illaoi. Like, I'm doing okay, but I'm really not doing very well. Alright. Blitzcrank. Beautiful hook. Picks up a shutdown onto Sejuani once again. And Illaoi is just trying to do this freaking dragon, and Draven is just not helping. And she's like, bro, motherfucker. Obviously, Cloud Soul or Cloud Dragon, one of the more ridiculous dragons, damage-wise. Highest single target output. And my jungle camps are being done. And I decide, you know what, dude? Whatever. Because I obviously know they could be in here. So I'm picking this up and I'm like, okay. So let's test. Let's see. Okay. Everything is gone. I'm looking for wards here. And I'm like, okay, well, shit. And this is something that I really had to work on, is I try to not waste any time. I'm like, okay, camp's done. This is why I'm here. Time to go somewhere else, right? I'm not running with Blitzcrank, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing anything. I'm just, okay, next, take the camp, get some more money. I now get Last Whisper, and I get a little bit of armor pen through that. Obviously, I can't fight the Sejuani. You will see me try a couple of times this game, because I don't know this champion, and my general rule is try to limit test. Alright, beautifully done by the Blitzcrank here. And, I mean, I guess Nico did something as well. Alright. Another kill picked up by the red team. And Blitzcrank, I believe should not... I should be able to get away, right? Yeah. So Illaoi, he doesn't get away, but I'm here, and this is the point where I pick up a kill onto the Kai'Sa, and you see the strength of Illaoi and me, okay? So Q goes wide, but I mean, it is what it is. And you see instantly I try to go back to my jungle camps, right? I'm like, okay, well, I don't chase a fucking Sejuani with Qiyana. It just doesn't happen, so okay. Camps are not respawning here, so, I mean, not yet. So I go back, and I can also pick up an item. I can pick up Cyrildas, because I killed the Kai'Sa, and my ultimate came in really, really handy, right? They were positioned very, very poorly there. And so, yeah. Sejuani, she is dead. And that is another kill picked up onto the Janna. And now I'm starting to kind of get a little bit of money, dude. It's starting to be there, the money. And we are planning to do Baron. Now, who would have thunk? Draven is obviously not here again. But very important, I try to not take the first hit here. First hit should go to Blitzcrank. The people that do less damage, let's put it that way. And set kind of a blunder in my opinion, but it's fine. 9. Baron is picked up here. And Yasuo. Yasuo is going to be picking up my camps. And obviously he's just split pushing, right? He's just farming up, he's split pushing. Him and Sejuani are ridiculously strong. And I'm kind of sitting around here, right? I'm kind of thinking like, okay, can I get a pick? And this is something that as Qiyana, a lot of the times I must do, is try to get a pick. So here I see an opportunity and we pick out the Yasuo, right? And we can kind of chase this down because we just have a lot of people. All right, another kill picked up onto the Janna. I didn't get the kill onto the Yasuo, but that's totally fine. And you can already see how suddenly this game is just turning around. Why? Well, Yasuo isn't there, like Sejuani isn't really there, and I'm finding some picks, and obviously Illaoi is ridiculously strong. But for example there, Illaoi didn't really do anything. All right, Kai'Sa goes down to the Nico, and here I'm trying to help. I should have just ran. But I was like, maybe I can fight her. You know, I have armor pen. No. Oh, you can't fight her. You just absolutely can't. You see the question mark pings? Because I remember in the stream I was like, dude, how do I not kill her? And then I realized, I'm like, wait. This freaking goblin is 10, 4, and 8. And rich as hell. Alright, unlucky. Illaoi, shutdown, goes over to Yasuo. Obviously one of the people that you wanted to be at least. Right? And obviously when we look at this game, right, it would be easy to say, okay, well, yeah, red team is just throwing super hard and this, that. But the main thing here is, and this is what I wanted to point out, is we have an angle here, right? We still have a super strong Kai'Sa on the enemy team. We still have a super strong Sejuani. They have a very good comp with Qiyana. Sejuani has a knock-up, right? Zed has a knock-up. Very good combos for Yasuo. But what I've been doing is, and I want to highlight my perspective because I know what I'm doing. I'm not the one who's carrying this game. The one who's carrying this game is Illaoi. Illaoi is doing a solid job, but I'm also doing an okay job. And one of the things that I'm doing best here is I'm keeping my mental, and I'm just trying to pick up farm wherever I can. I'm trying to not have a lot of downside, right? And here I was looking for Yasuo, by the way. The reason I was sitting in there is because I was looking, is Yasuo there? What is going on? And this is a really big blunder by Sejuani here. Sejuani is trying to, Sejuani is trying to get a pick onto me, has no jungle checking, has no clue where I am, and she is just going to go down to our wards. So pretty well done by my team. My team is absolutely doing an amazing job. And obviously this Draven, he didn't do a lot of damage at the end of the game, but you know, he's kind of hanging in now, and he's kind of doing his thing, and he kind of stopped. And this is without him stopping this ego that he's doing, this would be impossible, right? Now he is still doing the same like AD carry in the bot lane type situation, right? So he isn't really contributing a lot, but he's kind of staying around, right? He was at some fights, you know, he tried to pick up some kills, and you know, he's, I don't know, doing his thing, juggling his axes. And so you see me here sit in, and you will see me do this a lot. I'm trying to sit in like these off angles, kind of be a head crab, make them think about, oh, what am I going to do? Is Qiyana going to pop out of a bush somewhere? You know, am I going to die? So yeah, I'm kind of looking, and you'll see me like walk around, run around, just try to see for like, you know, situations that I can do. And obviously the mobility of Qiyana is pretty ridiculous. All right, we have a little bit of a fight going on here, as yeah, Illaoi is going to pick up a lot of tentacles. Now we are fighting out of Illaoi's comfort range, and now I'm having my eyes onto the AD carry here. AD carry, bad reaction time. I'm going to probably take her down. Yeah, I'm going to take her down. And she wasn't really able to do a lot, right? She was out of position there, and I was easily able to punish it. She didn't react to my ultimate, and just like that, from an absolutely lost game, we are now kind of somewhere again where, you know, it's looking passable, right? All right. You wouldn't want it any other way. Our mid lane goes down once again. And this Illaoi is just... she's just taking the fight. She's taking over the game, and she is just she's the sole reason we are winning, right? So what I'm thinking is, okay, well, whenever she fights somewhere, I fight with her. This is something that I've come up with myself when playing mid lane, is whenever I would have one other person that was doing okay or was kind of solid, performing solid, I would always say, okay, if you're behind, whenever they attempt to play, I'm all in with them, right? And I'm not going to like let them die if I can't help it, right? Obviously, if they're out of position and stuff, sure. But if they're really doing a solid job, I'm just going to run all in, right? And so here I'm holding on, right? I'm ready, but there's no real angle right now. And obviously they are looking. And I didn't want to scry this. I wanted to find an angle here again, right? This is just kind of what I do as Qiyana, is I look for angles onto the AD carry and stuff. Now, fighting inside of the pit is absolutely treacherous, and I pick up a huge ultimate here, and I jump onto the Sidrani because I try to help out with the Baron, but this ain't happening. Sidrani not quite sure what she's supposed to do, and yeah, I'm going to pick up a kill onto the Yasuo as well, and that was just the worst call that they could have done, right? And obviously I purposefully hid myself and made them question, okay, where the hell is he, right? At least they didn't, I don't think they thought about it a lot, but they didn't really see me anywhere. So I kind of came in, and my ultimate just like shot people against the wall, and the fight was over. And this was one of the first fights where Illaoi actually wasn't the main person, right, to carry the fight, where I actually kind of, out of like her strength, I kind of managed to get some kills, and I managed to make some stuff happen. And now I'm kind of starting to, you know, at least a little bit take over the wheel as well, and starting to help out. Now again, right, I'm totally fine with our team fighting here. I'm just going to take the dragon. I'm pretty confident that I can outsmite her, just because I have my ultimate up, and yeah. The reason I also bought Axiom Arc is literally just to have my ultimate, right? That is the sole reason. And here I'm like, okay, well, shit, we did pick up everything that we kind of want, and I have a lot of money, so I kind of want to recall. But then I think I went through everything, and I was like, yeah, I need a little bit more money, something. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more. But the thing here is, right, that Illaoi is doing an amazing job at destroying this game, right? She is... I helped her gank 2 ganks. She would have probably won that without me, but I sped it up. and she really used it well. And she really started abusing Set, and then she rotated and started to try to fight with the team. Very important as a top laner, right? If you get super strong in the side lane, this is the point where you say, okay, let's freaking do this, dude. And so you're going to start to see me like run around and kind of check and see if I can find someone, a straggler, someone who's trying to join up with them, something like that, right? And so this was Ilawi pinging us, right? Being like, yeah, the fuck off there. Be careful. And I'm just kind of sitting here because I'm like, okay, so if some of you try, like, for example, an AD carry, right? AD carries do this a lot. They try to pick up Scuttle Crab just to pick a little bit more money up, or they try to pick up something else. And here, the Scryer doesn't hit me, which is ridiculously lucky. Now, I believe that this is the point where I'm starting to like actually just not do much. And that is just because I was like waiting for someone to try and pick this up, right? Now, the one who tries to pick this up is freaking Set. So that's something I'm not into, but I know my team is coming, so I'm ready. Place my ultimate. Again, right, the grass Q, use the grass Q here. And now that I've used my ultimate, now I'm going back to my jungle again. Trying to pick stuff up. Ilawi is going to go down here to the Sejuani. Very well done by the enemy team. We kind of traded Set, who's not very valuable, for Ilawi, so that's pretty bad. But it is what it is. And obviously I picked up a little bit more gold, which is always great. But the game is still losable, right? The game is still very, very losable. And we have an engage here. And that means this guy is going to have free push. Now, it is what it is, I say. And so I just help out Draven, try to kill the one that is isolated from their team. And now here you will see I flash onto the AD carry. And, yep, I'm going to go down. But the AD carry also going to not go down. All right, can we... Thank you. Mid laner is struggling a little bit, but what happened there was this fight was very well engaged by Sejuani. She was probably coordinating that with Yasuo. She was like, okay, you're pushing the side lane, I'm gonna start a fight here. And I was kind of just attacking the front line because I was under no threat there. And I was looking at the AD carry the entire time. And the second the AD carry lined up to the turret, I just flashed into her, and she had to drop the exhaust and the ultimate to live. She does live. But then the Blitzcrank flash picks her up in the end. Could have been a little bit cleaner if Nico had picked her up, but it is what it is. Like, it doesn't really matter. And she hasn't really been contributing a lot. Like, if you look at the damage share later on, hopefully I will remember to add that in post. She's just like, Kai'Sa's just not really been able to partake in these fights. And I think this is one of the most important things, is like Qiyana with her ultimate, she doesn't fall off as hard as some other assassins because her ultimate still has really good value. All right, so these two, I'm not really into fighting. I'm trying to defend my camps, but I wouldn't if I saw like a Janna there, if I saw something. But, oh, Janna. All right, you see me grass Q here. I get movement speed out of that, and I'm invisible. And yeah, we're in a little bit of a pickle here, right? This is a little bit of a concave they have around me. And you see that I try to position myself a little bit safer here so I can fight people in a 1v1. Now, I'm looking, right? I'm looking at the fight, and the fight is like super split up. There's something happening here. There's something happening here. This is not a fight that we want. So we fortunately managed to disengage, and this is actually a pretty good pick by Blitzcrank and by the Nico here. And this is just, me, I'm just not doing a lot. I'm just ulting in there to just kind of finish the fight off. But this fight was actually just Nico hitting a really good bind and just taking over. But you see how, this little ugly duckling that had negative KD managed to have his glow up here by just, trying to stay safe and trying to, obviously, taking kills as well, but, just trying to not make any crazy mistakes. Now, Here you see me try to play the range game because I'm like, okay, well, who's really with me, right? Not really many people. So I'm trying to kind of mess with them to extend the fight so my people can come, but I'm not trying to like hard commit to anything. And you will see me do this a lot on my champions, Qiyana as well as Nidalee. And here, obviously, I just pick up some farm because I realized like we have to control the waves, right? That is very important. Pick up some farm here. Obviously, I am full build now. I have Edge of Night, Youmuu's Ghostblade, which is really good. And you'll see me like look for stuff here, right? This is where I'm kind of looking. I'm like, okay, where the hell is this AD carry? And we see them start this here. My question mark pings. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And the entire team is kind of grouped up here for a team fight. Sejuani ultimate is going to go white. Illaoi is going to teleport in. Now, this is not going to be easy for Illaoi. Illaoi gets just a little bit of damage, but not much. I go in, and I kind of just manage to get the hell out. And this is an amazing ultimate here by Neeko. Not much has worked for her so far, but this is where Neeko manages to get an ultimate on like 3-4 man. I pick up the AD carry, and we are fighting the Yasuo. Beautiful knock-up here, by the way. And Yasuo is going to go down, and Illaoi really didn't do a lot here. This was just Neeko, who was kind of struggling, right? In any team without this Chad Illaoi, me who's kind of kill stealing, right? And this Chad Blitzcrank. In any other team, this would have been a different situation, right? She would have probably not done very good. Now, I went over here just so I could pick up a blue buff because I figured that I would need some mana. And I also wanted Draven to attack the Baron first because I figured that he would deal less damage. And you will see me kind of trying to look for stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm on a ward. It's kind of time to get out. So I have this habit of trying to look for these small little picks, but you know, if you get spotted, chances are you're not going to get a lot of picks anymore. So again, right, I want to reiterate that I'm not saying I carried this game, but I did a solid job, and this game looked absolutely doomed. But what happened? And by the way, at this point, Draven is still flaming. Draven is still flaming, and he's super tilted. All right, so I'm looking for the Janna here, right? Because I know, okay, we have a player advantage, and I'm trying to like make some proactive picks here, and we just overrun the enemy team, right? My ultimate is amazing in these situations. Kill picked up by Neeko, kill picked up I think by me again. No, kill picked up by, what was it, Blitzcrank? And the enemy team surrenders. And this is the story of how you should be careful with giving up. We had an inting Draven who was flaming the entire game, and we still managed to pull it out. Thanks to Blitzcrank, Illaoi, and myself. And Neeko also, in the end, started to come through there. So, just something that I want to point out is a little bit of a perspective of how you can hold on and play from behind and try to farm up anyway. If you liked that video, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, hit me up with a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. And I will see you guys in the next one or over on my Twitch. Stay awesome.